All right, what is going on, folks? That's right, folks. You know it. It's Thursday. It is Wrestling Outlet, and I am here. What's going on, everybody? You may be noticing it's just me here. I think Smark is gonna. Excuse me, folks. I'm still getting over something here. I think Smark's taking a little break, folks. I believe he is still on the Tits podcast, Totally Inappropriate Team Sports, but he's going to take a little break from this show, just kind of get his head together. And that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. Door is always opened whenever Smark wants to come back. He's welcome back. But he didn't say he was leaving. He just said he wanted to take a little break. So, but anyway. Smark is always welcome to come on back whenever he wants. There you go, folks. So I've got a few things that we can go ahead and talk about tonight, though. Plenty of stuff actually to talk about. We've got Raw we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a lot about Raw, actually, because we've got a few things about Raw. We've got Hulk Hogan being completely booed out of the goddamn stadium. And my God, poor Jimmy Hart had to sit there and just deal with it. I don't think he wanted to do that, but Jimmy Hart is a fucking trooper, man. He is a fucking trooper. I'll tell you that right now. But you know, we'll get into all that with Hogan and stuff like that. TKO and Saudi Arabia. We got a couple of things on. Even got a movie trailer to play you guys. So we'll be doing just fine here. We got plenty to talk about tonight. And also I did, like I said, I watched Raw. I said I was going to, and I did. And I watched Dynamite. So I've got plenty to talk about, but I know you guys have probably heard a bunch already about Raw, but I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it, folks. These shows are definitely going to be a little bit shorter since it's just me. I've got a good amount to get into tonight, but yeah, these shows are probably going to be a little shorter coming around here now. But there you go. So let's go ahead and start knocking this bad boy out. So something we talked about last week, folks, was the length that Raw was going to be. And Paul Levesque actually came out, or Triple H, whatever you want to fucking call him, actually did come out and say that it's a little different platform over there on Netflix. And, you know, we talked about how they don't have a news, you know, they don't have to be off at a certain time for news. They don't have another show starting right away, you know, and it's available right away. So if people missed anything, they can go back and watch it. Now, Triple H was talking to a Sports Illustrated media podcast, and he was actually talking about the length and the variable length of the show. And he said it's a slightly different platform. They have the ability to do whatever the show needs to have done. So if this episode needs to be an hour, great. It's an hour. The next episode needs to be 42 minutes. It's 42 minutes. It's what makes for the best product. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be 42 minutes, but clearly we'll deliver the product in a way that's best for Netflix and for their business model and what is best for our storytelling. He did say he does find the sweet spot to be somewhere between 2 and 3 hours, but I don't know. My Raw was 3 hours and 9 minutes without commercials. I believe I watched an overseas version because I was listening to Solid Monster, and he was saying that a segment played overseas that we didn't see in the U.S. And turns out I saw it. I saw it today. So, but yeah, I did see it. So it was the New Day segment he was talking about back with Jackie Redmond, where they came out and were telling her that they had a match scheduled, but LA doesn't deserve to see them. But I saw that. So we'll get into all of Raw. I know people are probably sick of hearing of Raw reviews. I'll be quick about it, folks. We don't have to get into everything, but we will get into some of the things that I enjoyed about Raw. So, but yeah, on that note, so Triple H is basically saying, or Paul, so it's so weird calling him Paul because we've known him so long as Triple H, but now he's Paul, so everyone calls him Paul. So I guess we'll call him Paul. But anyway, on that, we kind of said it was going to be somewhere probably 3 hours plus. And if they need to go over, man, they just go over. It doesn't matter anymore. There's no one holding them back. There's no news show to kick off. There's, no network to talk to. They can do whatever they want at this point. Raw can do whatever they want. Netflix can do whatever the hell they want. I think we found that out last night. But there you go. So those shows are going to be whatever they will be. Some maybe 2.5 hours, some maybe 2 hours, some maybe 3 hours. I have a feeling the 3-hour time slot is still going to be where it's going to end up. I got a feeling they're still going to be doing 3 hours. So we'll definitely check that out as it goes. But hey, let's go ahead and talk about Raw. Folks, let's do that. Raw was a great show, man. It really was. I haven't sat down and watched a Raw in a very long time. Not a full Raw. Like I said, I usually go in, I check out what I think sounds good. But it's been a while since I've sat down and watched a full episode of WWE Raw. And I know this was not exactly like a Raw episode. This was more of a 3-hour infomercial for Netflix, which is, I feel, exactly what this was. It was a big Netflix infomercial. Everyone came out there and needed to mention Netflix. And look, I get it, folks. I get it. This is how you push your product. This is what you do. I get it. But my God, give us a little break. I know Netflix. My God, The Rock was like the Netflix shill man, and then Cena came out, and it was craziness, folks. It was absolute craziness, I thought. But like I said, I understand what they were doing. They did what they had to do. This is how you promote your company, and I totally get it. I completely see what they were doing there. But let me just do one thing here, folks, and we'll start talking about Raw. I'm just kind of moving something over here to make this a little easier on myself. But yeah, let's start talking about Raw, folks. It was kicked off with Michael Cole coming on down, and they got the ring all there's a big sheet over the ring, so you don't know who's in the ring. We get Michael Cole coming down. Pat McAfee comes on down after him. So we get a great little entrance for the announcers, and the announcers. I thought those two were awesome last night or Monday night. I thought they were great. But we got those two coming on down to the ring, and then we got a video. Now, this video was, I believe, posted on YouTube, but we got a video of some of the legends in WWE, them talking about Netflix. It was a really good video. They played kind of a cold open, and then they jumped right into some of the stars coming in. We saw Seth Rollins. We saw Rhea Ripley. We saw a bunch of the stars coming on in and joining us. Then we see a video, and it's Triple H talking, and boom, the sheet goes down, and Triple H is in the middle of the ring, and he just, he comes out there and talks about WrestleMania. But I thought this Legends video they played was great. They had someone up there doing paintings and all kinds of stuff. I thought it was a really good video. I really did. I enjoyed it. I mean, let's be honest, folks. No one does videos like WWE does videos. Honestly, they're amazing at it. But they were showing Piper. They were showing Macho Man. They showed Cyndi Lauper. They showed Liberace. They had Jake the Snake on, showing Ricky Steamboat. All the legends. They were even painting a picture of Hulk Hogan, Andre. But it was a really good video they played. Then we jumped into the show, and Triple H like I said, came out. He was talking all about Netflix. This is the new Netflix era. And he had a question, folks. You know the question. I know the question. We know the question. It was, are you ready? Are you ready? So that was the big question. Are we ready? And of course, everyone screams yes. And they were. The Rock kicked off the show. He came out. He's basically out there. He's talking about where was Raw filmed. Wonder if the Hogan booing was political. Raw was in LA this week. I honestly, if it was political, would they not have also booed? What's up, Cheese? If it was political, and thank you, True North Packers fan, for the question. I don't think it was, because wouldn't they have booed Taker too? Taker had Trump on his podcast too. He did a commercial. We played the commercial. Trump is just as guilty of being as much as a Republican as Hulk Hogan is. I got to be honest. I think it was the shilling. I think when he came out and they saw the beer logo in the middle of the ring, and Hulk Hogan, all he did was come out there to shill his beer. That's exactly what he did. But possibly, I mean, listen, a lot of people still just consider him a racist piece of shit. And I get it. But I don't know if it was completely political. Like I said, I think they would have booed Undertaker, although I don't think the crowd's got the balls to boo the Undertaker. Honestly. Dwight Race, I am here. What is going on? Thank you for being here. I like that. Appreciate it. But I don't know. I mean, listen, it could have been political. That is not exactly a Republican state. But he's out there plugging his beer. And you're right. Like Dwight says, he went on this long-winded rant about, let me tell you something, brother, dude. I was down there going back and forth, and I've had me some great partners, and I don't know. Smart, good to see you in the chat, buddy. Hope you're doing all right. If you feel like jumping in, man, tell me. I'll send you the link. But he thinks it was the whole hating black people thing. Not so much the long-winded, not so much the rant, the Trump thing. Yeah, I got I don't think it was very political either. I really don't. But I gotta tell you, most of the comments I saw from the IWC, I guess, were the guy is a racist piece of shit. I saw very few people defending him, and the people that defended him, all I saw was the people go, "You're defending racism." So thank you, Smart. Just hit me up on here or on Messenger, and I'll shoot you out the link if you need it. Otherwise, go relax, do what you got to do. But yeah, I really don't think I gotta say I really feel in the next couple years we're all going to be a little less politically motivated. But, and Dwight says people booed him because we should have more wrestling and less talking segments. I mean, there were only 4 matches, but again, this was an infomercial for Netflix, folks. Let's be honest at what this was. That's what it was. It was a Netflix infomercial. I don't think next week's going to be like this. I don't think next 2 weeks are going to be like this. But this was an infomercial for Netflix and WWE joining forces, brother. And now we've got logos in the ring. Hulk Hogan's Great American Beer is now one of their. They put out a whole press release, folks, Monday afternoon on how they have joined forces with this beer. So trust me, they will do whatever they have to do. I mean, if Hulk Hogan needs to turn heel, I got a feeling they'll fucking turn the guy heel. I really do. I don't see. I think they'll take a few weeks off. I think they'll take a few weeks off with Hulk Hogan, um, or not, or not. But I mean, what do you? All you can do is bring him out there as NWO Hogan. But I got to tell you, that guy looked every day of 72 walking out there. Listen, folks, I know the guy's had like 8 or 9 back surgeries a couple years ago, and it's probably amazing he's even walking, to be honest with you. But I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do with the guy, but he looked every bit of 72. He lifts up his arm. He's got the skin hanging. I mean, listen, the Rock in HD, he's got the gray beard going now, this gray stubble going. The Rock in HD didn't exactly look, very young. He could have shaved, my God. But listen, none of us are getting fucking younger. I can tell you that. But Hogan coming out and doing the same old shit, I just don't think the crowd's ready. I don't think they care anymore. I just don't think they give a fuck anymore. They're gearing towards a younger audience. They would like a younger audience. Why? I don't even know why they made this deal. I don't know why they made this deal. Now, I saw some people online freaking out. My God, they're promoting beer. Yeah, they are. Cody Rhodes is sponsored by Wheatley Vodka. Rey Mysterio was promoting a beer a couple years ago. We talked about it on the show. The Rock was backstage drinking tequila and then hops into his little big old truck and drives away. So, yeah, they're promoting beer. You may be geared towards kids, but most of those kids have parents, folks. And you know what parents do? They drink fucking beer. They drink vodka. They drink tequila. Okay? People do have drinks. You're not going to stop that. There's nothing you can do to stop that. So I understand why they're promoting. Let me tell you something, folks. Who do you think is bringing their kids and spending money on their kids? Who do you think is buying the beer at the events? The adults. Come on. If everything WWE did was geared towards kids, would you be getting fuck you solo chants unedited on Raw? Would you? I don't think so. I don't think you would. I don't think you would. Would you? I mean, they bleeped out a few of the Rock's F-bombs, but they didn't bleep out the crowd. Not at all. So, but The Rock came out there and did his thing. Of course, he threw his catchphrases out there, but he was touting all the Netflix guys, and they were all like, yeah, buddy, we love you. I mean, Rock's on the board, folks. He knows everything going down with these Netflix guys, but then he did something I don't think a lot of people were expecting. He was very complimentary towards Cody Rhodes, the guy he was just feuding with at WrestleMania last year. Well, yeah, last year. Very complimentary towards Cody Rhodes, but I got to tell you something, folks. Here's what I noticed, and I noticed he didn't mention Final Boss until NXT. Didn't mention Final Boss. Even Michael Cole said he was the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, and I think that is what they wanted. I think that's the Rock they wanted for this first show. I don't think they wanted Hollywood Rock. I don't think they wanted the Final Boss. I think they wanted the Rock everyone loves. The most electrifying man in sports entertainment history. And that's who we got, folks. We got joking around babyface Rock. So I don't know if WWE ended I'll tell you what, though. People were posting cell phone footage of the Hogan thing, and it did not sound as when he first came out, it sounded like people were cheering and then started booing. I don't think it was that way. I think they were booing the whole time, and the cheers are piped in. Folks, all y'all are going to do is get them to turn the audience down and pump in the fucking cheers. If they want him cheered, he's going to get cheered. Okay? If they want Hogan cheered, they'll do it. But The Rock came out, did his thing, left with his catchphrase. And then we got into the first match, which was Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns in tribal combat. And folks, people talk about who the greatest showman in the world is, all this stuff. Folks, the greatest showman in the world, bar none, in my opinion, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is so good at what he does, folks. He just, everything he does is gold. His facial expressions, his movements, his body language, every little thing he does is just, it furthers storyline. I just love everything he does. He is just absolutely the greatest showman on earth, in my opinion. This man right here, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's amazing, folks. Just watch everything he's doing during the match, before the match. When he's announcing, he took the announcer's mic and announced Roman Reigns. Everything he does is for the storyline, and it's fucking great. Dwight says, here's a thought. Triple H put Hogan out there just to get booed, knock his ego down a peg. That'd be very Vince. That'd be very Vince-ish. It'd be very Vince-ish. So I don't know. I don't know if that would be the case, but I'm not going to say it's not possible. Vince might have given Triple H a call. Say, I got an idea, buddy. That could be possible. But we got Snickers in the ring. Folks, I am kind of watching and scrolling at the same time. But this match between, and I like what they're doing. They're introducing these guys, and then they're doing the video. They, even in some of the matches, they were bringing one guy down, doing the video, then bringing down the other guy. I thought it was, again, the video packages are great. Every match they had, they announced in the ring like a championship fight. Every one of the matches had a big fight field, if you will. It was really good, I thought. It was really good, this match. But they went through the whole my God, what's it been? 2 years, year and a half storyline with these two. And then the match they had, I thought was fucking really good. It was brutal between the two of them. There were chairs, there were this. There was this, there was this, there was that. But it was a really good match between these two, and it really told the story, as WWE and the talent in WWE is very good at doing. But I mean, at one point, Solo put the chair over Roman Reigns' head. And Heyman is just down there. He's got the Ulafala in his hand, and he's just praying. He's praying with the Ulafala in his hand. He's just so amazing at what he does. Just so unbelievable. We had tables brought into the ring, kendo sticks. The new bloodline comes out. The old bloodline comes out. Sami Zayn comes out. It was craziness, but Roman ended up winning. And Paul Heyman's just about to hand him the Ulafala, and The Rock comes out and gives it to him. They had a little stare down. People thought maybe something was going to happen. Nothing happened. But The Rock came out, no music, no fanfare. He came out and placed the Ulafala around the neck of Roman Reigns. So that was good stuff, I thought. Just, again, furthering the story with the High Chief. They were talking all about that. Giving him the Ulafala, becoming the tribal chief. So it all makes sense. Then we see CM Punk is back there. He's got his... But this is the segment that, according to Solid Monster, no one in the U.S. saw, though. It was New Day back there. Not here. Oh, I forgot. You guys can't hear it. I don't know if you can. I think you might be able to. But it was New Day. up there with Jackie Redmond. And they were, like I said, they were saying how they didn't care. They didn't think LA deserved them. So they got booed. They got big time booed. We had a quick advertisement for Penta, who was supposed to be on this show, but I guess got bumped. So Penta, welcome to WWE. So, and also, we see there's a party going on backstage. There is a party going on backstage, folks. And this is where they start showing some celebrities. I use that term loosely. This is like who's left in LA that's not living in Florida, Texas, or some other state that they ran from when California got crazy. So, first guy we get is Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, if you will. So, and he's got his WWE and Netflix shirt on, and he's got a special coming up on Netflix. Folks, see how this is all working together. You see, I know you see. Ashton Kutcher was there with his kid, and he was happy. He was happy. Michael Che was there. Rey Mysterio got up and he had a Eddie Guerrero tribute shirt on. Fucking awesome. Love the shirt. We saw the War Raiders. We saw Wale. He was there. LA Knight, who I will bet you within 6 months, no one even gives a fuck about LA Knight anymore. I really do. I'm telling you now, guy's not going to fucking last. Then Cena comes out. The last time is now, folks. We have the John Cena farewell tour. This is it. 2025 is last year as an active WWE wrestler. And this is it. This is what we have, folks. We have the last time is now. He comes out. Crowd is going fucking nuts. I'm not going to fucking lie. And I got to tell you, folks, this dragged on and 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 on. You get it? That's how this promo felt. It was and then finally he got to it. He entered himself in the Royal Rumble after carrying the 2 and adding the 3. He ended up entering himself in the Royal Rumble, folks. So it wasn't that bad, but it was a long-winded promo for him to do this. But he's got the blue on, the hat on, everything. He's ready to go. He's ready to go, folks. Then we had a little backstage video with Logan Paul and a bunch of other people, and we had the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley match, which another great match. But we had a few more actors coming out there that they introduced us to, folks. First was Seth Green, who, my God, they should have introduced the girl he was with. She was beautiful. Seth Green, folks, who I actually just watched Knock Around Guys the other night. He was in it. Great movie. And, folks, God bless L.A. and God bless Macaulay Culkin, folks. This man knows what he's doing. He had his head covered. He put his head up. The crowd popped for Macaulay Culkin, folks, as they should have. As they should have. They loved them some Macaulay Culkin. It was great. It was great to hear that pop for him. Even Seth Green was like, look at you, man. O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube, God damn it. I'm sorry, folks. Ice Cube's son. And Danielle Fishel, of course, Topanga in the audience. The guy beside her waving like anyone knows who the fuck he is. Topanga's husband, I think, or whatever. No one knows. But then they showed Naomi and Bianca Belair. They were about to show X-Pac. And then they showed Nakamura. And then they went back to X-Pac. So it was confusing. Poor X-Pac. Then they got Liv Morgan in the ring. She's in there with Raquel and Dom. And Rhea Ripley comes out. And I don't know, folks. I know I've said time and time on this again. I think my kind of girls are short, thick, and blonde, but I got some sort of weird thing with these goth type girls. My God, Rhea is just gorgeous. And she comes out and she plays it up and she's moving and dancing. She's great. She's great. This match ended up being very good, though, between these two. It was a lot of back and forth between them and just ended up being a good match. Really enjoyed it, folks. I really did enjoy this match. You had Rhea at the end get the win, take the title. Dom tries to make up with her, and that doesn't happen. She kicks him right in the ding-ding, folks. That's right. First ball kick of the night, folks. We got a nice ball kick. And then Rhea is leaving, and she hears the gong, and Undertaker comes out. Now, folks, if you want to say political this, political that, number one, he had Kid Rock playing in the background as his intro. Number two, Undertaker just came out, and the crowd went fucking nuts. All right? This isn't political. I really don't think it's fucking political. But he came out. I heard David Arquette was there, but I don't remember seeing him. Just because I don't remember seeing him doesn't mean he wasn't there. But Taker is out there, and he drives up to Rhea, says something to her. They, give knuckles, and then they hold up the arm, and it was a good moment. It was, as Michael Cole said, from one badass to another. This was kind of like, I was a little shocked she didn't just jump on the back of Taker's motorcycle, but that would have probably been a little cooler. But yeah, he came out to Kid Rock, American Badass, and then they showed more of the crowd backstage. Well, not the crowd, but the wrestlers backstage. Then we got this little segment with Bayley, Bayley's getting thicker and hotter. I don't know how it happens, but Chad Gable comes in, and all he wants to do is beat a luchador. I think we know what's happening with this. Ivy Nile was gorgeous. I'll just lay that out there. Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Chad Gable, though, wants to beat a luchador. Part of his bucket list. Penta. It'll be Penta, folks. I think everyone agrees with Penta. That'll be happening. So we get that, and then Jey Uso. Actually, we get the Miz segment with the Miz and Karrion Kross. It was crazy. I love the Miz, folks. Scarlett. I'm not going to say it again, folks. Wow. Beautiful. I can't help it, folks. These women are gorgeous. I can't help it. Then they show some footage of The Rock backstage, drinking tequila straight out of the bottle, and getting into his car. He sees Travis Scott. He says hi to him. Then he leaves, and he tells us he's going to be on NXT on Tuesday, which he was. And we get a few more Netflix executives. We get Bill Simmons. He's not an executive, but we do get a couple of executives. Vanessa Hudgens is out there dancing, looking. And Michelle McCool, who a lot of people were saying she looked too skinny. I disagree, folks. She looks like she's very fit. I think she looks amazing. I think she looks absolutely amazing, to be honest with you. I think Michelle McCool looks wonderful. I really do. I don't think she looks too skinny at all. Just because she's not the size you want her to be. We get Damage Control, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. We get Lyra Valkyria. And then we get the Jey Uso entrance. We see Travis Scott out there literally smoking a blunt. Now, folks, I'm not bullshitting. The guy was smoking a blunt. I don't blame him. I got no issue with it, obviously. Matter of fact, I could take a few puffs off my little vape myself. Jey Uso came out, and I got to tell you, folks, that entrance, the whole crowd going absolutely fucking crazy for Jey Uso. Folks, it don't matter how the match is. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how the match is. The whole crowd bouncing up and down, yeeting Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on the table. look, folks, Michael Cole, whether he can dance or not, the man's out there having the time of his life with Pat McAfee. He has admitted it. He's said it. Leave him alone. Leave Michael Cole alone, folks. I was never a big fan of Michael Cole, but at this point, Michael Cole is the voice of WWE. I think he handled himself amazing when Jerry Lawler had his heart attack. He wasn't afraid to go ahead and break the heel character right away, and they never brought it back. So I got a lot of respect for Michael Cole. I do. His voice may be annoying, but I have a lot of respect for Michael Cole. I'll say that. But this entrance was fucking amazing. Coming on down, and they did the video, but this match between him and Drew, I thought was fucking great too. There were some really good things going on on this show, man. But this was a really good match here. You had Jay get the win, which that's how it should have happened with that fucking entrance. We had a good video by Gunther, and then Jackie Redmond backstage with Gabriel Iglesias putting over his Netflix thing. New Day comes up. New Day sucks. Then we get Paul Heyman backstage with Roman Reigns, and they're talking, and he's like, you need to go out in front of the public and show them globally. What date can I put on your calendar? He says January 27th. And he closes the door, and it says 2K25. I got a feeling January 7th is when 2K25 comes out, folks, also. So, should be interesting. But then we see Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. They're up there with Jackie Redmond. I like how they're doing these. I don't know how long they've been doing these, folks. Interviews up top instead of down low. I like that you can see down on the crowd. You got the crowd right behind them. But Rhea Ripley and her mommy is always on top. You're goddamn right. I'd let you be there. But she's so much more over than Damian Priest. I'm not saying Damian Priest isn't over. But, man, Rhea Ripley is much more over. Of course, maybe if Damian Priest twerked, that might help. Then again, it might not. I don't know. I don't think it would. But you never know, folks. We saw a few more people that they came around to, a few more stars. Actually, some people I honestly didn't know, folks. Tiffany Haddish, I definitely I definitely knew who she was. She was out there. Stephen Amell, he was out there, folks. Braun Breaker. Tiffany Stratton probably got the biggest pop of the night, and Nikki Bella out there looking very, very good. Even gave us a little dance, little booty twirl. She was looking great, folks. Now, here's the Hulk Hogan segment. I'm not going to get into it again, folks. We're just going to skip it. We already talked about it. No reason to get back into it. So Seth Rollins comes down, though. And I guess all the heels in this company have to dress ridiculous because New Day's dressed ridiculous. Seth Rollins looks like the devil. I don't know what else. I don't know, folks. I don't know. Yeah, you're right, Steven. They do. They kind of bring you back a little bit. The superstars there. I like the way they're done. I really do. And we keep going, folks. And now we get the Seth Rollins match. Like I said, it's Seth Rollins. See, like this one, Seth Rollins comes out. Then they do the video package for the match. Then CM Punk comes out. He's wearing the same jacket he wore when he beat the shit out of Jack Perry, folks. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But that's okay. Listen, Punk's a troll. He was even eating donuts at the media scrum after the show. The guy's a troll, folks. He's just a douchebag. But I don't think it needed to be done, and whatever. Punk is who he is, and this is what he does. He likes getting under people's skin. But this was a great match, I thought, folks. Seth Rollins yelling at the referee a lot. Just let things go, let things slide. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Really good stuff there. I thought it was great. But him and Punk told a great story. Punk cut a great promo after the match, which honestly I don't have. That I didn't get. But these two I thought were fucking awesome. This match was great. You had CM Punk get the win here. And it was a great match between the guys. Now, that was how Raw ended for me. Now, overall, I got to tell you, folks, Raw is very well produced. Raw is. Now, I might have made a mistake today. I watched Raw and then AEW back to back. It's a very different show when you do that, especially this Raw. This Raw was lights and mirrors and lasers and fucking pictures of drones and all kinds of stuff. But it was a very good show. And again, I feel that it was basically just an infomercial. I feel that it was an infomercial. It's exactly what I felt it was. It was an infomercial for Netflix and WWE's partnership. It's really what I think it was. And that's what it seemed like to me. I'm not saying it was a bad thing, folks. This is how things need to go sometimes. This is what needed to be done for this first show. It needed to be big. There needed to be thank yous. There needed to be, I don't know if there needed to be a Hulk Hogan. but we got one. We got one. So I think that's enough of Raw, folks. I got a few more things to talk about with Raw as we go through it. Raw did well. Today, actually, they put out some numbers. Now, I got to tell you, folks, the numbers they put out, I wouldn't exactly say that they're accurate. And I'll tell you why. You see there, it says Monday Night Raw drew, on Netflix debut, drew 4.9 million views. Keep that word in mind while I'm reading here. This is according to Live Plus One data provided by Netflix, with a view defined as total hours viewed for the program divided by its runtime. Okay, so way more people could have watched, just not watched the whole thing, been going back to watching it later. These numbers don't tell us much, folks. They do tell us a little bit. They did very well. Raw is touting that this is that this was very good, saying it was viewed by 2.6 million households in the U.S. Now, what I didn't know, folks, is WWE does not yet distribute WWE in France, Germany, India, Italy, Japan, the Philippines, and South Korea. So I did not know that. I actually thought Netflix was global, but I guess they're not distributing WWE yet. For what reason, I don't know. It's probably got some deals. They have some deals, I'm sure, that they need to work out. But this definitely, this definitely seems like it did very well for them, which was expected. But the numbers really can't tell you very much, folks, because you could, like I said, you could watch 20 minutes and then you have to leave. And there could be many more people who watched this show. More people are going to watch as the days go through. We're not going to hear about them. There's no way to say that this was a bad move for WWE to jump over and do this move to Netflix. Absolutely. A great move for them. So, and since we're talking about old Hogan here, yes, exactly. The WWE does still exist in overseas. So, there you go. Stephen Butler said he had fun reviewing this show on IYH. Matches were A+. I really thought all the matches were good on Raw. I did, but Gabriel Iglesias was on the Rich Eisen's show, and he said WWE should have known, man. They should have known this was going to happen. He said that they should have known better. Um, he said that was awful watching Hulk Hogan get booed last night. I'm like, wow, yeah, from great to hate. I kind of like that line. That was ugly. That was ugly. But I mean, at the same time, WWE should have known better. You know that Hulk Hogan's been out there on the political train trying to sell his beer and trying to be on the Trump train. So you take somebody like that and put them in a blue state in LA. What else was going to happen? That might be the reaction. Yeah, I agree. But again, I think if it was political, I think Taker would have gotten a little less of a reception. I don't think it would have been as bad, but I think Taker would have gotten a few boos. And I didn't see anyone out there booing Taker. I don't even see anyone talking about Undertaker, except to say, why would it be political when Taker was out there too? So I don't really think it was political, folks. I really don't. I just think the guy is just known as a lying. Oop, drop some papers. May as well drop the rest. I just think he's known as a lying, racist piece of shit to a lot of people out there. And guess what? People have the right to fucking think that. If that's what you think, that's your opinion of him. You're allowed to think that. I just saw it a lot out there, folks. But, folks, that's all I have for Raw. Finally, that's about all I got for Raw. Great move. Great show. We'll see what happens next week. But let me get a sip here, folks. I almost need another one. I have plenty, don't worry. So, TKO Group Holdings, folks, we all know that is WWE. They own WWE and UFC. We know that. But according to a report from the New York Times, TKO is in the process of putting together a boxing league. Now, that's not the most interesting thing. The most interesting thing is that they're collaborating with Saudi Arabia's PIF, their public investment fund. Sources told New York Times that an announcement could emerge in the coming weeks. They do say that many details about the league, even the name, are a little unknown at this point, although the Times report states that the boxing promotion would utilize up-and-coming boxers tied exclusively to the league. Sounds a lot like the WWE ID program to me, guys. TKO did tell the Times they had nothing to announce at the moment, and the Public Investment Fund did not comment on the report either. But this is something Dana White has mentioned before, that they were looking to get into this. Matter of fact, Dana White had discussed the idea of Zuffa boxing back in 2017. And that was when McGregor and Floyd Mayweather had their fight. But it never really materialized. The brand never materialized. The fight did, but the brand never did. He also mentioned in 2019 that he was planning on doing something. But it looks like they're going to take their time and not go in guns a-blazing, as Dana White had said before. So we'll see what's going to happen, folks. But I don't know what happened there. What a weird time to get into the boxing gig. I mean, I guess you can, with up-and-comers, I guess you could do that. That's not a big deal, but boxing is just not what it used to be, folks. And you know that. I mean, it's just not. I love boxing, folks. I love combat sports. I really do. I love boxing, but it's just not what it used to be. It's really not. I wish it was. I mean, we watched the Tyson fight and how disappointing that was. And, you know, boxing's just not what it was. The promoters got too involved. You got Don King bringing in guys they own. You know, they own both guys. So one of them probably going to take a dive. True North Packers fan says, bring back the WBF. Gary Stratton. Yeah, I remember the WBF. The old World Bodybuilding Federation. I don't think that would go over very well now either. You got the Arnold Classic, and that's about it. But I just don't know why anyone would want to get into the boxing thing right now. But I guess if you think about it, Netflix is making a bazillion off of some of these fights they're having. So, hey, throw your hat in the ring. Go for it. Enjoy yourself. As I drip beer down my face, I'm going to get another one. So, there you go, folks. Might notice I got the little ticker going down at the bottom. I played with StreamYard a little bit over the weekend, and we've got some pretty bad storms coming in here. So as of Tuesday, everybody was starting to say they're closing Thursday and Friday. So I had a little bit of time today and yesterday because everybody started closing early yesterday. And I don't know, but it's saying we're supposed to be getting heavy snow out there. I can't tell if it's snowing yet. It was supposed to start right around, well, now, between now and 10 o'clock. Let's see here. According to my phone, we are getting right now a 95% chance of precipitation, wintry mix. But we are supposed to get some snow early in the morning and very late tonight. So we'll see what happens here. But I've had a little time, so I decided to do a little bit of playing with StreamYard and found a few things that I like. So, which is why I put them all on here. But anyway, sorry I keep itching my nose, folks. I don't know what is going on. I feel like I have a bad itch here tonight. So there you go. Again, I'm not quite sure why anybody would want to get into the boxing thing now. But like I said, you got Netflix making bazillions of dollars off of it. So who gives a shit? Do what you got to do. But speaking of Saudi Arabia, folks, and we saw this on Raw, so I guess I do still have something to talk about with Raw. WWE has officially confirmed that the 2026, so next year's Royal Rumble, will be in Saudi Arabia. So this will be the first time ever hosting out of North America. So this was all reported by PW Insider, folks. But yeah, that is pretty interesting. And look, you want to ask me what I think about this? If you give a fuck, I'm surprised it took so long. I really am. I am surprised it's taken this long for them to do something like this. I think maybe Vince was worried about doing it. Maybe Triple H was like, fuck it, balls to the wall. I don't know. But I really feel that this was something that probably should have taken place 2 years ago. I really think that I'm surprised it took this long for them to do this. But listen, I think it's going to be pretty cool. Saudi Arabia, Royal Rumble. We'll get to see all the nice couches down by the ring. The Royal Saudis with the Royal Rumble. It's perfect. It works good, folks. Probably going to start at like fucking 2 a.m. in the morning. I don't know the time difference between there and here, but that's going to be very interesting, folks. To be honest, like I said, I really feel that I'm surprised it took this long to do something like this. I think if all goes well with this, we're going to see a lot more PLEs overseas. I think I really feel they're going balls to the wall. As far as I'm concerned, they're going all out on their first one. As far as I'm concerned, they're going balls to the wall doing this over there. So let's hope it turns out good. And listen, folks, we got a year to worry about this. So I'm not exactly worried about what's going to happen here. So Anyway, we don't need to spend a lot of time on that. We still got a whole year to talk about that. So, good question. True North Packers fan. Will there be a women's rumble? Will it be 2 nights? There's the other question. Will it be a 2-night event? They were talking about doing more 2-night events. Will this be a 2-night event in Saudi Arabia? Holy shit, history. Folks, I will bet you this is a 2-night event. And I think, yes, you get your women on night 1, your men on night 2. I don't see a problem with that. You could get a lot more matches in. Yeah, I do think there will be a women's Royal Rumble. I think I do. I think they're going to go back to 20. You might even have a 15-woman Rumble. I mean, who knows? But probably 20. And I think it'll be fun. I do. I think it'll be good. Listen, if WWE knows how to do something, it's put on a fucking great show. So I'm not worried about it at this point, but I definitely 100% believe there will be a Royal Rumble for the women. Absolutely. 100% believe that. It's a new era, folks. It's a new era. It's the woman era. But speaking of new eras, folks. Now, folks, I'm not the biggest. My wife is crushing her ice. Speaking of the era, folks. Now we all know I'm not the biggest fan of Bret Hart. I've got no problem with his in-ring. I think he's actually very, very good. But when it comes to promos and stuff, I think he's boring. I think he's kind of monotone and boring. But there is a book coming out covering Bret Hart's greatest matches and his career. Actually, this book that's coming out is supposed to reflect over 25 hours of interviews that he conducted with with John Pozorowski of the two-man Power Trip podcast. And supposedly they sat down for 25 hours. They have all this footage, and it's going to be pretty good. Now, I've got a little teaser video that I guess I can play for you guys. I hope I'm probably going to get in trouble for it, but let's do it anyway.
The greatest living pro wrestler, a singular artist discussing his one-of-a-kind work, detailing how he transformed wrestling as we know it, from the minds of an award-winning author and a podcasting kingpin. More than 25 hours with a live microphone talking about the matches and promos that made him the era of the Hitman, coming in 2026 from ECW Press.
Another thing that caught my eye there was ECW Press. Never heard of that before. But there is a book coming out, though, that is called The Era of the Hitman. And that's going to be it right there, folks. There you go. You can take a quick look at it. I'll bring the picture of it up. There you go. I already got the cover for the book, it looks like. Era of the Hitman. So I may not read it. I'm not a book guy. But it definitely will be something pretty big coming out in 2026. I think it's crazy that we are already talking about things coming up in 2026. I mean, we just hit 2025, and we're already talking about things that'll be coming up in 2026. A year away. We're 9 days in, folks. 9 days in. Oh, it's the 9th. Folks, I have been in this house 1 year today. We actually signed the papers on January 9th of last year. So we have been here 1 year today. And you want to hear funny. This is a manufactured home I'm in. And in the kitchen, it says when the house was made. The house was made on January 9th, 2017. So this house is 7 years old, and we've been here for 1 year as of today. It's the house's birthday. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, I have now been here a year out in the country, and I love it. I do. I'm loving it out here. But yeah, I think that's pretty crazy that okay, Stephen Butler saying ECW Press is Canadian and has put out wrestling related books that he's bought. Yeah, he was behind a few books. Toughest Men in Professional Wrestling, Total MMA, Shamrock, The World's Most Dangerous Man. So he definitely has been involved in some stuff, and I didn't know this was a Canadian company, but it does say Toronto-based ECW Press. I didn't read that. Thank you, Stephen Butler, for making me read the rest of the article. I appreciate that. So there you go. 2026, folks. That's how long. We're already pushing stuff out to the 2026. Anyway, folks. Yeah, I think I hear ice hitting my tin roof on my deck. So it's definitely storming out there right now. We'll see what happens. But all right. So my last little bit of news, then I'll get into a little bit of AEW, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. That's what we're gonna do. Like I said, these shows will be a little shorter. It's just me here rolling along. We don't have anybody. We can make it a short show. We can make it a long show. Doesn't matter. We can do what we want to do here. We don't have a news show to cut in for. We're like Raw. We're just like Raw. Do whatever the fuck we want. So, okay. Let's get to this last little news tidbit, folks. So, I was looking at Post Wrestling, John Pollock and Wei Ting's site. Those check out those guys. They're great to listen to. And they have this thing about a trailer for a movie called Dark Match. It's a horror film, and it's featuring Chris Jericho. And it doesn't look, I'll tell you the truth, it actually looks like a pretty fucking good movie. It doesn't look bad. It is called Dark Match, like I had said. It is a professional wrestling horror story featuring Chris Jericho. It sees basically an indie promotion, but the matches end up being to the death. And no one knows that, but Chris Jericho is like this cult leader. So the cult knows it, but no one else knows it. But this also is out of Canada, Mr. Butler. This film was directed by Lowell Dean. It was all shot in Edmonton, Alberta, and produced by Department 9 Studios, a Canadian production company. And folks, I'm going to play the trailer. I don't give a shit if I get in trouble for this. I am going to play the trailer. It is worth it. I'll be honest, folks, this movie doesn't look that bad. I actually think it might be worth a watch. It doesn't look bad. It reminds me a little bit of a movie that Jason Statham did called 13, where these guys are going in for a competition, but they don't know what it is, but it turns out to be a Russian roulette competition. Exactly what it is. It's a Russian roulette competition. So it kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but it doesn't look that bad. So without me jaw-jacking anymore, here is the trailer for the movie. It's 1:42, folks, so bear with me.
Who here's ready for some wrestling?
Hey, there's my favorite wrestler. Tomorrow night is gonna be a barn burner.
Where exactly are we headed? As far as I know, a real rural spot. welcome.
Is it just me, or is there something off about this place?
Everyone is here for you.
Okay, focus up. Have a good show. Boys, you're up first.
I'm thick. I'm thin. We're in.
People told me that pro wrestling was fake. Pro wrestling is about sacrifice.
Crowd's bonkers.
Let the celebration begin! Only one walks away.
This isn't a game.
We need to get the hell out of here.
My children! 5 matches.
Crowding the talent.
5 offerings.
Really think you're getting out of here alive?
With your sacrifice, the Dark Lord shall arise.
He's recording these. He's making copies.
This is a snuff film.
I told you it'd be a barn burner.
I don't have to do this.
I can't die in the ring.
You can't hide. I'm not running.
It ain't over until one of you is eliminated.
What do you want?
There you go, folks. Like I said, I think it looks pretty fucking good. I do not think it looks bad. My God, we lost 3 people here when we played the goddamn trailer. What? You don't like Jericho? I like Jericho. I don't think this film looks that bad, folks. I think it actually looks pretty good. It's supposed to be very gory, gory, excuse me. But they got a pretty good cast in the movie. Stephen Ogg is one of the guys who, you guys do know who Stephen Ogg is. I guarantee you know who Stephen Ogg is, but you're going, where have I seen him? Grand Theft Auto 5, folks, he was Trevor. He's the voice of Trevor. He was in The Walking Dead. He's been in some, he's definitely done some movies, but Stephen Ogg is Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5. So he's in this movie. Sarah Canning, Jonathan Cherry in this movie. Diane Wolfe. Mo Adam. How does that name look familiar to me? Give me one sec, folks. Oh, he's a TNT guy. He's a TNT guy, and he's been on AEW, Dark, Elevation, Kid Chocolate, Mo Jabari. I knew he looked familiar. So, yeah, there's definitely some people in this movie, folks. I think this is going to look good. Now, if you, at the end of the trailer, it did say that you could go ahead and stream this now on Shudder. I don't think you can. I don't think it comes out to January 31st. I don't think it does. I don't think it comes out till the end of the month. So I don't think you can stream it yet. But I think it looks like a pretty fun movie. Listen, we've all determined I like bad movies. We've all talked about this. I do. I like bad movies. I'm sorry. But I do. But this one, we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see. I definitely will check it out, and I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll do a Hollywood hangout on it. Norab, my man, coming in late. Better late than never, sir. Better fucking late than never. So, folks, let's get into a little AEW. That's right, AEW from last night. Let's go ahead and get into that a little bit. Stuttering John is on Cameo for $40. I wouldn't spend $40 for him. I got kids. $40 will buy me 2 fucking cases of beer, goddammit. $40 will get me 7 grams of fucking weed out here. Legal. So I'll go with that. But let's go ahead and get into a little bit of AEW Dynamite here, folks. That's what we're going to go ahead and do. Let me go ahead and get it pulled up here. So, like I said, I watched Raw and then I watched Dynamite, and it's a little different. It's a little, look, folks, WWE's production is fucking sick. It is out of this world. But it's also probably very expensive. It's probably very expensive. So it was a little weird watching the two shows back to back. But I got to tell you, I thought Dynamite was a very good show. I really did. I enjoyed watching Dynamite even right after Raw. I definitely thought it was still a good show. Kicked off with Will Ospreay and Buddy Matthews. Now, there's already, folks, talk about Aleister Black leaving AEW. Folks, I'm just glad we're getting this whole Aleister Black leaving AEW thing out of the way early this year. Maybe we can just knock this out and go from there. Because once again, until we hear it from him, I don't believe shit. Because last time they said this and he came on and said, fuck you, I'm fine, and I'm not leaving, so leave it alone. So I'm not believing anything anymore until Aleister Black tells me. But this Will Ospreay Buddy Matthews match was friggin' awesome. Now, I really enjoyed it. I did. I thought it was a great match between these two. Will Ospreay showing a little bit of respect to Buddy Matthews after the match. After Will Ospreay gets the win, telling Buddy Matthews, I've been up against you and I've been up against Brody Lee, and you guys could win gold, either tag team or singles gold, but you guys definitely could do this. So they shook hands. Wasn't bad, but wasn't what you expected from Will Ospreay, but obviously they're giving it out in case, I guess, Aleister Black is leaving. But once again, I'm going to wait to hear from him. I'm not going to do this. But this was a really good match between these two guys, even with Ospreay getting the win. But they showed a little bit of Wrestle Dynasty, folks, which had a little bit of I think Takagi said that it was a little bit of a disappointing gate. Whatever. Not everyone can break history in with their gates because WWE charges $9 bazillion for a ticket. But we saw a little bit of Wrestle Dynasty, folks, and then we got to Private Party, and good Lord, I'm sorry. Sometimes these guys really annoy the fucking shit out of me. I like them both, but sometimes they're annoying. This was a little annoying. But then Hurt Syndicate comes out and they propose a toast to Private Party defending their titles successfully and to Hurt Syndicate taking those titles. Bobby Lashley dumps the drink into the ice bin and walks away. They did have some good-looking girls here, man. They had a short, thick blonde there, but see, they had that chick with half her head shaved. Hot as fuck. I don't know what's wrong with me, folks. I don't. Nora wants to know if I hear the rumor best worker of the 21st century, Baron Corbin Baron, had talks with New Japan. No, I didn't. He can go to New Japan. I don't watch that. Bobby Lashley, though, was out for his match already. So he goes right down there, and it's him and Mark Briscoe. And folks, I don't give a fuck what you think about Mark Briscoe. He's an entertaining son of a bitch. In the ring, I love the guy. He screams, he yells, he's doing redneck kung fu. The crowd loves him. The crowd is into this guy. And it's really nice, I believe. I really think it's good to hear that. By the way, folks, Ian Riccaboni and Matt Menard were on commentary. Commentary was great. Commentary was fucking great. Exactly. Norab said MVP was hilarious. MVP was great on commentary. I thought the commentary for the night was very good. And every time the camera showed up to these guys, I didn't have to look at a fucking mask. Sorry. I'll calm down now, folks. I'll chill the fuck out. I'm good now. Had a sip of beer. I'm good. But this match was really good, though, between these two guys. But like I said, Mark Briscoe is just so entertaining out there. But I think we all know most of the time when Mark's out there, he's out there to eat the pin, which he did. He got kind of squashed. But not really. He didn't get squashed. Mark did not get squashed. That was stupid of me to say. It was a good long match, actually, as most AEW matches are. We don't get many squash matches on AEW, folks, for a reason. But yeah, MVP was funny out there, because at one point Mark Briscoe used the chair, but the ref didn't see it. And MVP's like, how could he not be disqualifying him? What the hell? He was like yelling. He was so mad. It was really funny listening to him. Yeah, Norab, there was no Tony Schiavone that last night. I know it was fine. I don't know if Schiavone got in trouble. That one, the one guy at Wrestle Dynasty got in trouble because he literally just went there and dumped all over AEW. I don't think it had anything to do with him calling Tony a money mark. I think it had to do with the fact that the guy laid a 3-minute fucking rant on the fact that Tony Khan had stolen all the talent from New Japan. I don't think it had anything to do with the money mark comment at all. I think that might have just fucking fuel on the fire, insult to injury. But I do not think that one comment was what got him in trouble. Everyone's trying to make it out like Tony Khan just is a thin-skinned little prick. That's possible. But the guy also went on a fucking huge rant on AEW, your partner. So I just don't think it was a good look. And I think that Tony Khan just basically said, this isn't a good look for either one of us. Why would you let this run? And it's not. It's simply not a good look for either company. Doesn't look good for New Japan. Doesn't look good for AEW. Should the guy have been suspended? Maybe. Maybe not. I'm not really the guy to say. I don't know. Smart says Schiavone told him to go fuck himself and take a shower while he was at it. Yeah. I just really don't think that had anything that he was talking about. And, the rant is null and void because those guys are still able to come work for your company. Almost everyone you mentioned was there working for your company. And you're right. Tony did tweet and delete a tweet bashing Chris Charlton. That was his name. Thank you, Smart. The English commentator for New Japan. Those guys were all there working for New Japan. So did Tony steal them away? Yeah. They're working more. They're actually seen by more people than Axis fucking TV, Mr. Charlton. So yeah, Tony did. But he's also letting them go back and work when they need to. So not really the best argument when he mentioned the Young Bucks. He mentioned all these guys that were already there working. And it's like, dude, chill the fuck out. I don't know what he thought was going to happen. I don't know what he thought was going to happen. I really don't. Pretty fucking stupid if you ask me. But when we get Jay White comes out, folks. There's another one they mentioned. Jay White, another guy they mentioned. And you know what? You want to keep these guys? There's a way to do it, folks. Money. Money will keep these guys. Why do you think Tony has them? Money. Money, 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 money. Jay White comes out for his match with actually the start of the gauntlet match. We had a gauntlet match last night. This was the start of it. It was Jay White and Hangman Page. And again, I still don't know how he's a cowboy. Why? Because he has tassels. Tassels. He ain't wearing cowboy boots. He ain't wearing jeans. Anyway, they come out to start this match. And let's face it, folks, these gauntlet matches are just so people can count down. That's really what it's for. It's for crowd interaction and people to count down from 10. That's all it really is. So, first guy to come out, Wheeler Yuta. The crowd likes it. They're not that bad with it. Next guy to come out, and this was hilarious, folks. You thought it was Swerve because you heard, whose house? Swerve's house. And then he goes, it's my house, bitch, with his little fucking hee. And it was Ricochet. I'm sorry, folks. I'm loving heel Ricochet. I'm loving heel Ricochet. 2 shows, and I'm loving heel Ricochet already. I'm loving it. Now, the high flying, he needs to start backing off on because that's crowd favorite. That's crazy shit the crowd loves to see. Start bringing that back a little later, but I think he might want to take a little break on it right now. Kind of like AJ Styles did when he would tease the big moves but not do the big moves. I think Ricochet needs to add a little bit of that to him, and I think that'll help him out a little bit. And if you're going to piss people off. Just fucking do it. So this was ended up being a pretty good match. You had Ricochet come out, and then who else came out? I'm trying to get to it, folks. I'm getting there. Because I know at one point Lance Archer came out. Oh, Adam Cole was the next guy out. It was Cole, the next guy out, who, then Daniel Garcia, the next guy out. And I'm like, oh my God, fucking what is going on here? You got Cole, you got Andrew Garcia, or Daniel Garcia. But there was a good little slap off between Garcia and Yuta. I did actually like that. That wasn't bad at all. But the next person to come down was Will fucking Hobbs, man. Powerhouse Hobbs. And it seems like they're putting some gas behind this guy. I hope they are. I don't want to say they're putting juice behind this guy because that just doesn't sound right. But I think they're putting some gas behind him, and I think they should. This guy could use some fucking... This guy could... you could load the spaceship with rocket fuel with this guy, as far as I'm concerned. The guy is a goddamn beast. He's big. He's just... He should... I mean, he's what AEW needs right now. They need a big fucking hoss to go in the ring and do what this fucking guy is doing. And I was glad to see him out there, but I was really just as happy to see when they had another big son of a bitch came out in Lance Archer. That was a good idea because you got, Hobbs out there just killing motherfuckers. But here's where my little issue was. You got Hobbs out there killing people. You figure it's a gauntlet match. You might get, after that, another big guy to come down and counter the big guy and have a little bit of a big guy hoss match standoff. But did they do that? No. Next guy to come down to the ring is fucking Mighty Mouse. Fucking Roderick Strong. The fuck were they thinking? Lance Archer should have had that spot where he came down to the ring, but whatever. Lance Archer came down after that. So we did still get the spot with those two, but it just wasn't what it wasn't what it should have been, in my opinion. I think they should have had him come out next. Then Kyle O'Reilly comes out. Whatever. I think I've given my feelings on on that guy. Then Jeff Jarrett comes out, folks. I'll be goddamn. Jeff Jarrett, Wheeler Yuta just beats the snot out of him. Didn't even give him a fucking chance. But Will Hobbs ends up taking the match. And Renee Paquette comes up. Never wanted to be a gold heart pendant on her neck before, but last night I wanted to be. She comes in the ring and is interviewing Hobbs, and I loved that he just basically said, it's no secret John Moxley got me into this company, this business, but I'm going to fucking annihilate him next week, destroy him. And you just saw the look on Renee's face like, interesting. So, because we all know she's married to Moxley. So it was pretty weird. I like that they do that, but they know we know that she's married to him, but they don't always bring it up. It's just a little weird, but Hobbs also walks by Jeff Jarrett, gives him a little fist bump, and Jarrett walks to the ring. Ian Riccaboni's down there, and Jeff Jarrett talks about, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I still got it. Don't know if I can still do it. MJF comes down, though, and was the usual MJF. But this could be interesting with him. MJF. I think this is a good feud to start. I ain't buying, and walked off. I don't know. This was good back and forth, but then they showed Darby getting thrown down a flight of stairs. I steel stairs, folks, and he is bouncing and let's see, he has bubble wrap wrapped around him. I don't know what the fuck is happening here anymore, folks. But then we had the rated R superstar, Cope. Folks, we told you in October. We fucking told you in October. Cope with Copeland. That was the name of the show. October 7th. Go back and check. We told you this was going to happen. They were going to call him Cope. Not Copenhagen, not Copey, Cope. We knew it. That's right, Smark. We fucking knew it. Is it a bad name? 100% yes. But we knew it was going to fucking happen. We told you it was going to fucking happen. So he comes out and he's cutting a promo on Death Riders, John Moxley. You guys went after FTR. It was a big mistake because we're close. But Death Riders come out, and right as they're standing, right before they jump the barricade to get to the ring, FTR comes out. So now it's 3-on-3, and battle ensues. Garbage cans being dumped. Gross. But you got garbage cans being dumped outside the ring. Claudio and Yuta fighting FTR. Inside the ring is Moxley and I want to call him Edge and Cope. But Marina Shafir stands up there, and Adam Copeland's about to hit her, decides not to, but it gave Pac a chance to come down and hit him with the briefcase. So Cope is down, folks. Cope is down. Claudio's getting the best of Cash. Then he goes over and helps Wheeler with Dax. And then Moxley breaks out the bag. He's going to try to choke out Adam Copeland. Cope. And Will Hobbs comes down. And they all run. Then we get this crazy Mariah May segment. She's back there talking. And Harley Cameron, who is newly divorced, folks, She was with Zion Quinn. She is no longer. Harley Cameron is there, and she is just crazy. But the crowd seems to love her craziness and her little, she's another, these are two gorgeous women, but they're having a match on Collision. Non-title, just hotness. So, but that brings us to Toni Storm, folks, who is still in her amnesia phase. She even put out a video about how she's finally getting comfortable and knowing the people. She's just brilliant, folks. I'm sorry. She's brilliant. But this was a three-way match with her, Chris Statlander, and Willow Nightingale. Folks, this was booty versus booty versus booty. This was great. This was like thick girl heaven for some people. Me. Me. I enjoyed this. All right, one more beer, folks. This was a nice thick girl match, folks. But I thought this was a really good match. I enjoyed it. All three girls were pretty good in this match. Statlander definitely needs to win more and be pushed more. I just think she's amazing. But Toni Storm was great in this match as usual. But, you know, she's shaking hands before the match like she's never met them before. But Chris Statlander ends up pulling out the win, which I think is a very good idea to start giving Chris Statlander some wins and letting her get over, because the crowd is into her and wants her to be over. So why wouldn't you do this? Spark said, Hope and his brother. Other method. Statlander pulls out a win, and Renee Paquette's backstage. I guess I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. Like, she just came back, and Renee Paquette is like, what the fuck are you talking about? But that brings us to the last segment of the show, folks, which is Kenny Omega's return. Kenny Omega comes in. He's got 3 bandages on his head because he was bleeding so bad at Wrestle Dynasty. He did a bunch of interviews just bleeding profusely. So he comes down and he's talking about the diverticulitis he went through. He's talking about how tough it is, how he's been through this, he's been through that. It was... I got to tell you, it was almost like Adam Copeland's promo. Here's what I've been through, and here's what I've come back from, and now I'm here to entertain you. That's kind of what it was from, where it was. But what this leads to, folks, is Kenny Omega is in the ring. He's doing his thing. He's talking, like I just mentioned, about all that stuff. And then mentions how, but if he's not going, you know, he didn't know if he was going to even be able to make it back to wrestling. But he said, screw it. If I can't do what I do in the ring for you. My God, I spelled begun wrong on the thing. Anyway, if I can't do what I'm doing for you in the ring every night or every week, I'm not living. So that was the basis of his promo. Then we get, meanwhile, for some reason, I couldn't stop looking at that little pendant out of his hair with the sword on the end of it, a little dagger on the end of it. I don't know why, but I like that. But he hears Don Callis's music come out. Now, we all know there was history with them right before he left. And Kenny Omega does probably the smartest thing I've ever seen. He goes right after Callis. But who comes out from the tunnel but Brian Cage and Lance Archer? Now, this is setting up a match with Brian Cage and Lance Archer. Kenny Omega does get beat down, laid out. Will Ospreay comes out to make the save. And they have a stare down. No one knows what is going on between these two guys, but I did think it was a little, first of all, back to where I was. This is leading to a match with Brian Cage and Kenny Omega. Now, Brian Cage, I do follow him on Facebook and a couple other places, but he's also a guy that me and Shaheen did interview once. He's a very nice guy, but I guess since we talk about him a lot, he shows up on my Facebook. But he put out a great post saying, this match he's been waiting for this match for 10 years. This is one of the reasons he signed with this company 5 years ago, is he wanted a match against Kenny Omega. And I see a lot of people bitching about it. Why Brian fucking Cage? Your first match back in AEW? And if they put him right back in the fucking title picture, everyone would go, he's right back in the title picture? Being gone so long? There's no winning and no losing, folks. But the fact that Brian Cage is very proud to be doing this match, very excited, should make it a great match. Should Kenny Omega have been beaten down his first night back? That's another question. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. But I guess they're trying to get this match on the way, and that's what they want to do. But it is going to be a good match with these two. Brian Cage is just fine in the ring, so I got a feeling it's going to be like Norab said, it's going to be a fun match. It's going to be a good match between these two guys. Don't know how much the Callis family will get involved. We'll find out. I'm sure by then Kenny Omega will have some backup. Wouldn't doubt if the Young Bucks came back as baby faces, to be honest with you. But the stare down between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega was pretty good. And that was how the show went off the air. But it was almost how the show went off the air. They actually went away giving you some matches for next week. Jon Moxley versus Hobbs next week. Christian Cage versus Hook next week. And they're doing the women's Casino Gauntlet match next week, where the winner gets a women's world title shot at Grand Slam in Australia. So, that was how they ended the show. And we also have Kenny Omega, Brian Cage next week, folks. So it's going to be a good show next week too. I am actually pretty interested in seeing that Brian Cage Kenny Omega match. I really am. I really do want to see that. So that'll be good. Norab says Kenny should have a few squash matches. Guys like Aaron Solo, Serpentico, Daniel Garcia, Perry, Yuta. And he might lose this match, and we get the whole, I guess I wasn't ready thing. So we'll see what happens, but I'm very glad that they look like they're deciding to push Hobbs. You got Brian Cage with a big match next week, and I think I've always liked Brian Cage. I think that would be great to give him a little bit of a push, if you will. So we will see what happens with that. But folks, on that note, I've been talking for almost an hour and 40 minutes. I think I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Folks, I appreciate everybody coming on in here and dealing with me, just me this week. But I really do appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you guys come on in here, even when it's just me, and come on in and, the downloads and everything. But thank you guys so much for coming on in here. And again, I do believe Smark is still on Monday nights over there on YouTube with Totally Inappropriate Team Sports Tits Podcast. So go ahead and check those guys out over there. Definitely. And I will be back here Saturday. I'm going to talk a movie. Last week I talked about Rex Lynn, character actor you've seen in a ton of things, just don't know it. Him and Reba McEntire are together. Lucky son of a bitch. Not going to lie, I got a thing for Reba too. Little redhead. Love her. Little tiny lips, crooked mouth. Southern accent to boot. Whew. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But especially since I'm surprised I still have internet. It is snowing out there. I can actually see it now. So, all right, folks, you guys have a great week. And I will be back here next. I have not watched the Stuttering John movie. I have seen the movie Tremors more than once. I think there's 9 of them or 6 of them. I've seen all the Tremors movies, every one of them. I love those movies. The first one, though, is the best. But yeah, thank you guys. I'll be back here next week right here on Wrestling Outlet. And appreciate everybody.